George Floyd and located directly in front of his alma mater, Jack Yates High School. Carl Davis, chairman for the Houston Society for Change, said during the dedication ceremony, quote, "We come to celebrate the life and legacy of our hometown hero, Mr. George Floyd," unquote. 46-year-old Floyd, a black man, died in May after Minneapolis police knelt on his neck for over 8 minutes. The mural in George Floyd's honor was commissioned by Harris County Commissioner Rodney Ellis, the Houston Society for Change, and 88 CHUMP, CHUMP, a nonprofit activism organization that was created by George Floyd's teammates, according to CNN affiliate KPRC.
And that's your news on Rainier Avenue Radio.
When feeling stressed, overwhelmed, or frustrated, what does self-care look like? It looks like doing something to clear your mind, such as meditating, painting, making a playlist, going outside. You can also stay connected with friends and loved ones. If you feel alone, look for an online community with shared interests or volunteer to help people in need. And use virtual sessions to talk with a mental health professional. They're here to help. If you need support, call the Lifeline at 1-800-273-TALK. Brought to you by the state of Washington.
Welcome to the Fitness Corner. I'm your host, Mark Bryant, and you're going to get a whole total body workout on my show, starting off with a warm-up, aerobics, strength training, cool down, and stretching every Friday from 11:30 to 12 right here on Rainier Avenue Radio.
Celebrate Black History Month with Rainier Avenue Radio World. You'll hear interviews, panel discussion, issues that impact your life on a daily basis. Celebrate Black History Month with Rainier Avenue Radio. And, did I mention? Every Wednesday night, live musical performances from the historic Columbia City Theater. Rainier Avenue Radio celebrates Black History Month all month long. Interviews, icons, celebrating the history of Black Seattle, community leaders, community activists. In 1852, Seattle's first Black resident arrived. National viewpoints. In 1943, Harborview Hospital hired its first Black nurse, Rick Dupree, Tina Marie, and me, Tony B. In 1961, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. made his first and only Seattle appearance. Did I mention every Wednesday in February, every Wednesday night, in celebration of Black History, live musical performances from the historic Columbia City Theater. I'll say it again. Every Wednesday, live musical performances from the historic Columbia City Theater in celebration of Black History Month. People you know, and some you may not. It's a celebration of Black History Month on Rainier Avenue Radio World.
Would you like to see when your favorite Rainier Avenue Radio show comes on? Check out our show schedule, updated weekly at rainieravenue.radio.world.
Welcome to Real Estate and Money, a half-hour program on Rainier Avenue Radio.world designed to help you whether you're a buyer, seller, investor, or renter in real estate. Your hosts are three local professionals who will escort you on your journey. Violeta Strash, who has years of media advertising and marketing experience and brings this extensive knowledge to John L. Scott Real Estate and all our clients. Tina Lombard, who is a mortgage loan originator with Cardinal Financial with over 28 years of experience, and Elsie Chaudoin, who has over 13 years of experience as a licensed real estate broker. And now here's Violeta, Tina, and Elsie.
Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to Real Estate and Money, 2:30 on Tuesdays. Don't forget us every week. You can call us to get into the show or ask us any questions at 206-717-4490. Again, that's 206-717-4490. Or as you can see on the screen, there are names, phone numbers for any of us to reach out to if you would like. And we invite you to do that as well. Today is Fat Tuesday on our way to Easter. Right? So this past week we had a lot of snow. See on my background, we had snow a few days. It's pretty much gone away. I know in Denver, Tina, you must have snow all the time, right?
Yeah, kind of all the time.
Nope.
But you guys beat us this week. You guys have some snow.
I know. Okay, Elsie, housing updates. Let's go.
Yes. All right. Let's start off with the week of February 9th through the 15th, 2021. And in King County, we have active 261 homes selling at the average price of $947,000. We've sold 329 homes at the average price of $913,000. And in 2020, we've sold 382 homes at the average price of $767,000. thousand, which gives us an increase of 19%. Now in Pierce County, we have active 132 homes at the average price of $537,000. We have sold 155 homes at the average price of $491,000. And in 2020, we have sold 221 homes at the average price of $424,000, which gives us an increase of 15%. And in Snohomish County, we have active 91 homes at the average price of $641,000. We have sold 113 homes at the average price of $674,000. And in 2020, we've sold 170 homes at the average price of $542,000, which gives us an increase of 24%. So as you can tell, national average is still about 8% increase. We are at 19, 15, and 24% in all three counties. So it is still a seller's market out there. If you're thinking of selling, give us a call.
There you go.
All right.
Right.
Well, we're moving on to refining and choosing the bank. So Tina, take it away.
Yes. Okay. Well, thank you. You know, right now it has been the topic of everything is refinances ever since May of 2020 all the way to now. Slightly going up. It's starting to move, but still it is a good time to refinance. Now, a lot of people who have bought their house, maybe they got 3.5 or 3.25 and upwards, and they can still get a price of maybe 2.875, 2.75. Maybe if a 15-year comes along, you can get a 2.125 on a 15-year. So who should you go to? You know, you're talking to your family members and they say, I refinanced, I just got a 2.25 rate, yay. Okay, where'd you get that from? Did you get it from a bank or did you get it from a mortgage loan officer, a mortgage company? So that is what we're going to talk about today. What is best for you, going to a mortgage company or going to a bank? So there are some serious pros and cons about going to each. So let's first of all talk about where all the loans go that are actually made. So there are a lot of different places, such as Freddie Mac or Fannie Mae. These are the clearinghouses in actuality who actually take the loans. A lot of the loans go straight to the banks like the Chase, Wells Fargo's, U.S. Bank, Bank of America's of the world. So they also hold loans, mortgages, credit unions, online lenders. There's all these different places that actually house the loans. But how do you get to them? And that is either through a bank or mortgage loan officer. Now, let's go through banks first and foremost. Banks actually not only do mortgages, but they do checking accounts, commercial lines of credit. They do visas, they do IRAs, so on and so forth. So their main focus isn't necessarily just to give you a mortgage. Okay, but the banks actually do have some very good rates. At certain times, they'll beat anybody and everybody out there with their rate. However, it behooves you, though, if you go to a bank, if you do have good credit and you have a relationship with the bank. Sometimes the banks have less fees or they've got less things that they need to go through. They bundle their services. So it's a lot easier just to go to a bank and get everything done right there. So now that's some of the pros of banks. Some of the cons with banks is they may have the best rates, but you're going to be sitting there for 2, 3, 4, 5 months to get a loan done. So does that sound like it's something that you want to do? I'm not quite sure. If you guys want to wait right around for 4 months for a loan to go through or for a refinance, it may cost you quite extensively to actually save a lock. So let's say that you have a lock at like 2.5 right now for a 25-year mortgage, and you want to lock and rock, we call it, or rock and lock. It may take 90 days to 120 days to close that loan. They may charge you an extra extension fee to do that. So that's kind of put offish. A lot of times the banks have very strict guidelines. So they have to take care of people's 401ks, the checking accounts, the commercial lines or visas, all these different relationships. They have a fiduciary responsibility for the people which they hold their money for. So they're not going to give crazy people crazy loans. If your credit score is a bit lower and you are riskier, the bank is like, no, because the bank sometimes they got their reputation on the line. Plus, they're dealing with other people's money. So they can't give you $500,000 and you're just like loosey-goosey, and you're not going to pay that money back because the bank has taken care of people's checking accounts and retirement accounts. So a lot of times the banks are very, very strict. So if you're cookie cutter, you've got a score of 806, you've got 30% you're putting down, you don't care when you close, you go to the bank every Friday anyways, go to the bank, get it done, we'll get done. But if you're somebody who just moved here, your credit's kind of wonky, you don't really have a down payment, it's it's you and your husband, you may be getting divorced, who knows, you may be having a kid, who knows, and your mother may be on the account, all that kind of stuff, a banker will just say, time out, I don't have time for all that, okay? So a lot of times the bank will not give you that special attention that you need because they don't have the capacity for it. And that's how come they do have really good rates at times, because they, if you have a real good credit score and you've got a good rating and real good income and money down, loan to value, good to go. They don't have to think about it. So the cons are, if you need a little bit more special attention, the bank is not going to be the best thing for you. Now let's go to the mortgage side. The mortgage side, what are the pros with the mortgage side? Well, a lot of times mortgage lenders don't only just use their money. They'll go through correspondent lending or different types of lending where I can actually get you some Chase rates, some Wells Fargo rates, some US Bank, Mr. Cooper, Flagstaff, and all these different Flagstar, all these different mortgage companies I can go to and I can look at all their rate sheets. And if we correspond from them, I can get you the lowest rate. So instead of you going to Chase, Wells Fargo, US Bank, Mr. Cooper, Penny Mac, if you go to mortgage lenders, sometimes they'll say, well, I've got all the rates in front of me. We deal with all of them. This person's got the best rate. That's where we're going. So you don't have to shop up and down the street. Mortgage lenders have that capacity, and the mortgage lenders are focused. They have a whole dedicated department for underwriting, for processing, for communications, for rates, for everything that you can think of under the sun. And that's all they do. They don't handle checking accounts. They don't handle 401k plans or commercial, any of that sort of thing. They just do mortgages. So a lot of them are well-greased, well-oiled machines. Put an application in and it just slides to closing. Okay. So with mortgage companies, they actually can. They may say, hey, you got a rate of 2.875. Well, and you need to beat your bank at 2.65. Some mortgage companies can do that. They'll say, give me a loan estimate and I will beat it. So a lot of mortgage lenders, they've got too much on the line. They will actually beat a rate if you give them a good bona fide loan estimate that's true. They actually can most oftentimes beat that rate with the bank. Okay. What are some of the cons of mortgage loan officers? Well, some of the cons is, they can't do everything. They really can't do everything. Sometimes they won't give you the best rate, but if you are somebody who is a sole proprietor or somebody who's commission only, and the bank says, no, don't even drive in our parking lot. We can't do anything for you. A mortgage loan officer probably can get that loan, but it's not going to be at the conforming rates that everybody else is experiencing. So if you're a sole proprietor and you're hiding your money and nobody knows how much money you make, you don't even know how much money you make. As long as you have good credit, you got good equity, you got good money down, a mortgage lender may find that property for you. You may be paying a 6.75 rate. And a lot of people say they don't care because they're not reporting anything to the government anyway. So, but a lot of times mortgage lenders will find a loan where you cannot. There are some banks that will not go below 680 on a credit score or below 660. That's their floor. We don't care how beautiful, wonderful, how much money you have down. If your score is 659, they're not doing it. Mortgage lenders sometimes go down to 580. Some mortgage lenders, if FHA or VA approves the loan on their automatic underwriting, you're done. They'll close the loan. Some of these mortgage lenders can find down payment assistance programs where the banks cannot. Another thing, too, is there are some loans out there when you are in the lower echelons, if you're 601 or what have you, you have to put more money down. You can put more money down, and the banks can do something for you. I mean, the mortgage loan officers can do something for you. So those are some of the things that are good or bad about a bank and a mortgage company. Now, with a refinance, you can go straight to your lender. So if I have lending at ABC Mortgage, okay, and now they got me at 4.125, and now I'd like to get down to 2.875. You can go to your actual lender, call up the people who mail you your statement and say, I want to refinance. What can you get me? And ask for a loan estimate, and they'll give you a loan estimate. And that is their very best. Then you can also call a bank or another mortgage loan officer and ask what they can give you. Now, be prepared. Sometimes they're going to need you. They're going to actually need to pull your credit and get your credit score to actually give you a good faith estimate or a loan estimate. They're going to have to. You can't just say, oh, my credit's good. Okay, because some people's definition of good credit is 528. Okay, other people's is 806. So you have to say, this is my credit score. Okay, so first thing you want to do is go to the people who are actually doing your loan for you right now. Ask them how much their rate is. Now, don't think that they're the best. I'll tell you, we're the very, very, very best in the whole wide world. You know, they may not be, okay? So you may want to go to a bank or go to a good referral source. But a good mortgage lender, a good bank, and the person and the company in which you are doing business with, those are the best bets. Now, if your friend says, oh, yeah, I know somebody, and she gave me a 1.2, and it was just no closing costs, and she's just wonderful, and she bakes me cookies every Christmas. Okay, don't believe that. Don't believe that, because their credit score may be different, their loan-to-value may be different, the county in which they live may be different. Everybody's story is very, very different. So if somebody says, I got a 2.8, and your lender quotes you a 3.3, don't get all flustered and say, oh my gosh, I'm going to go that my cousins because they got a 2.8 and Tina's quoting me a 3.3. You don't know anything about their situation. You don't know what they're going through, what they have, or what they have not. So the main thing is not to compete with your friends or family members on what their interest rate is. You compete with what your interest rate is currently and go from there. But if you are with U.S. Bank and you've got a U.S. Bank loan, go to U.S. Bank first. If you have a mortgage lender, Mr. Cooper, go to Mr. Cooper first. And after you get that quote from them, then go to somebody else. Either go to a bank, or if you're at a bank, go to a mortgage broker. If you're a mortgage broker, go to a bank and find out. That is the best way to go ahead and choose who you're going to use for your refinance.
Okay. Well, thank you, Tina. That's awesome information. Let's take a break right now. Get back to you.
Tune in to Real Estate and Money every Tuesday afternoon from 2:30 to 3 here on Rainier Avenue Radio.world. Join your hosts, Violeta Strash with John L. Scott Kent North, Elsie Chaudoin with Keller Williams Mountain to Sound and the Elsie Legacy Group, and Tina Lombard with Cardinal Financial. They'll help you navigate the waters of our volatile real estate market and offer you some guidance on how to make your hard-earned money work to make your dreams come true. Learn about current trends, get tips on financial matters, and have fun, interactive discussions about your home inside and out. That's Real Estate and Money.
Great. So do you guys have any questions about that before we move on to our next topic?
What's the quickest closing number of days? Is it 21 right now? 20, 21?
For a purchase, although those appraisers right now are kicking us back to 10 days because of the snow and everything, and they are getting bombarded. So they're charging you more money, and they're kicking it out like another week. That's on purchases. For refinances, you're looking at a minimum of 45 days across the board.
Wow.
Across the board, no matter who you look to. So, yeah.
Right.
So now our next topic, we're going to go into staging. You know, you can just have a beautiful house, but if you don't stage it right, you don't decorate it right, you don't create the atmosphere, your house is not selling. So to enhance your chances of actually showing off the lovely home you have, Elsie's going to be talking to us about staging.
Yes. Just like you said, Tina, it is about the atmosphere. And so you want to walk into that home and you want to feel that warmth. You want to imagine sitting on that couch. You want to imagine all your things there, just as the furniture is there, and just feel that warmth of the home. So let's start off. With creating a contrast. And so what I mean by contrast is, let's say you walk into a vacant home and everything is stark white, right? So white countertops, white flooring, white backsplash, white everything. There's really no depth in it. So the way that we create a contrast is that we will then bring in something dark. So a contrast of light, dark, light, dark. So that's kind of the number one rule of staging. And the way that I would do that is I would start off from the bottom up. So let's say the floors are a white tile or so. To create that warmth, I would put an area rug. And depending on where you're at, so if you're in the living room, put an area rug on there that's a little darker. And make sure that the area rug is big enough to cover the furniture. So you want the furniture to come onto the area rug there. If you have carpet that's light, create put a rug that's darker. If you have a darker rug or a darker carpet, bring in some lighter rug, so white perhaps, and then you can put in now your darker furniture on there. So creating that contrast is a really big deal. Now, pieces of furniture, what type of furniture to bring in? I've got a love seat and a couch and a chair that's all one type of fabric. that's probably a no-no. You don't want the matchy-matchy. You kind of want to create some different contrasts as well. So let's say, we bring in a leather couch that seats 3 or so. And there's a fireplace in the middle of the living room. Perhaps bring in 2 chairs that kind of stick out from the fireplace. And maybe they're not leather, but maybe they're a cloth. So mixing the materials is actually creating contrast as well. Let's see what else. Bringing in some greenery really helps as well. So bringing in greenery and lamps to create more of that light. That usually helps as well. Let's see here. Some of us will say, okay, well, I'm staging my house and I need to keep this piece of furniture because it was part of my family's, let's say it's a sewing machine, a sewing machine, and it's part of your staging because grandma left it for you and you can't part with it. I would say put that in, let's say, your spare bedroom and create a sewing room in your spare bedroom. Don't leave it in your living room. And if it is in your living room and you feel very obligated to, I would say put a cover on it and create, like a shelving area for it. Let's see here. Accents. Okay, so how many items do you put out there on your coffee table, on the shelves, on the counter spaces in the kitchen? I would say very minimal. Keep it to a very minimal. If you are a coffee drinker, keep that coffee on the counter. However, if you've got that, what is it called? That mixer, that KitchenAid mixer, and you're using it like maybe once a month or so to make cookies or some kind of baked goods. I would say put that away, put that in storage, put it in your closet, put it in your pantry, put it in the garage, somewhere where, it doesn't necessarily have to sit on the countertops. So less on the countertops is better. Let's see here. So talking about the stark colors, just white on white on white. If you've got a, let's say, dish set or so that you want to put out there on the table, or create that dining room set, that dining room that you have, and you want to create like a formal dining room, bring out some of those darker dish sets, and then set it up to where, you're kind of having like a formal entertainment dinner, and put those out there because that really does look really nice. And then create like a centerpiece that, don't be afraid, allow it to overflow. So then it becomes the focal point of the room itself. So far, ladies, you guys have any questions?
Well,
how am I doing?
how about like pictures and stuff? How people have pictures now, the pictures of like rocks and stuff. Okay, but if you have anything controversial on the walls, where does personality and staging stop?
Yeah, so I would say take those down and really create a mutual setting. Mutual as in, abstract paintings, those are fine. The rockery, your photo there, that's fine. Mm-hmm. And I would say, let's say, you have a rug out, in the area. Pick out some of those colors that the rugs have in it. If you've got a rug that has a pattern of some grays or some whites or some even like, black or darker colors, I would say take those colors and then put that on the wall. So find a painting that, may be able to match with some of the colors in the rug itself.
Mm-hmm. So besides hearing declutter, cleaning the entire house top to bottom, I've heard depersonalizing.
Yes.
The house. Take out all the family photos. Say you are a policeman. You don't want pictures of your family on the wall and you in your uniform, right? You just need to get rid of personal items, things that you don't want to walk away while you're showing the house during an open house, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Focusing on fresh and natural elements. I heard you talking about that with the plants.
Yes, Absolutely. Going back to the feng shui, right?
Mhm.
Saying goodbye. So starting to pack up a lot of those personal photos will help with that feng shui and saying goodbye to the home as well. So being ready to depart from the home really helps as far as taking all the personal photos out.
Yeah,
Okay, and then I think last but not least, we're running out of time here. In order, the most common rooms that are staged: the living room first, kitchen, the master bedroom, and the dining room. And besides all the interior stuff, make sure from the sidewalk or from the roadway, your house is looking great. People, if you don't have that curb appeal, they're not even going to want to walk into your house, right? So you need to declutter on the outside as well.
Absolutely.
So Elsie, you want to say our parting words? Because I've got
Sure.
some announcements to make
Oh,
really
yes.
quick, guys.
All right. Well, we are Real Estate and Money, and thank you for tuning in to our show today. Next week, we will be talking about remodeling, and we will have a guest speaker. And back to you, V.
Okay, this is week 3 of Black History Month, and I want to remind everyone we have a number of programming going on during the week. Stay tuned for Conversations in Black with guest Mario Bailey. I believe they're focusing on Blacks in football. So Mario Bailey, yay, a former Husky, and Walter Thurman III, former Seahawk player, Super Bowl champion. On Tuesday, there's Kuyate, Arts West African Music, Song Dance Exhibition. Wednesday, we have performance from the Historic Columbia City Theater. Friday, workshops, film industry, sales and distribution. And film night also on Friday, Change in the Family, a Sam Hampton film. And on Saturday, NOBI and Friends live music performance from the Historic Columbia City Theater. Go to Rainier Avenue Radio.world. Check out the schedule for this week. And next week, we also want to promote a new feature that we've got. We're promoting the Philippine Scouts Scholarship and how to find a lender when you are purchasing with Tina. But stay tuned next week. We'll have also some information about that Philippine Scouts Scholarship for kids' higher education. Thank you so much for tuning in today, and we'll see you next Tuesday. Bye-bye. Oh.
You've been listening to Real Estate and Money with your hosts Violeta Strash, Tina Lombard, and Elsie Chaudoin. For more information, call 206-717-4490. That's 206-717-4490. Go to the Rainier Avenue Radio.world website to find the Real Estate and Money schedule, or tune into our live show every Tuesday afternoon from 2:30 to 3. We will help you find your dream home.